right, let's make sure you guys can hear me. I guess we clocked in. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. Oh, hold on. And the whole idea of helping you to become mentally and emotionally balanced is so that you become healed. In other words, you become the perfect man. You have successfully balanced all aspect of yourself. It's the idea of mind, body, and soul. It's also the yin and the yang. It's just complete. I mean, it's perfection pretty much. And now I'm not referring to it in terms of being flawless, but in terms of, let's just say, you have successfully balanced your masculinity and your femininity, and the idea of becoming the Christ. And that's what Jesus represented too. That's why Jesus, as a man, also had long hair. He was as, let's just say, logical, as emotional as he was. This nigga was a perfect representation of my balance. So to attain, because all of these guys are representing, pretty much, they're just an embodiment of what that higher state of consciousness is. When you look at Buddha, you look at, let's just say, Krishna, Jesus, those are all represent Buddha. These are all representation of a highest state of consciousness. But that can only be accomplished by you becoming in alignment with you. So, as a spiritual healer, I mean, the whole idea of becoming mentally and emotionally balanced is to attain that level of consciousness. But I guess for now, we'll let you start here. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, the name of the game is for you to wake up. So now, when I'm talking about being emotionally balanced, what I'm talking about here is simply you understanding what emotions are, or your emotions are, or emotions are, tomatoes, tomatoes. And then now you be able to identify or understand your emotional patterns. Pretty much this is you getting a grip of yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you can only do it by understanding how it works. And that's another reason too. The inner, the active service, it's mandatory for you to become in alignment with your true self. You got to be dedicated to you. But anyway, we'll talk about that just a little bit later. But, being emotionally balanced, what I'm saying? The baseline is to understand how it works, understand your emotional pattern. If there's any emotional blockages, then you are able to transmute, change, you do whatever the fuck. Now, if you don't, the flip side of that too, because there's a flip side to it. That's when people are being triggered. You know what I'm saying? That's when, when somebody's when you're saying somebody's acting their ego. So there's another aspect of them now that had taken over, and that's their shadow. And that's what a lot of us are dealing with, especially, in the world that you're living in. Anyway, I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but this is all related because it's all, part of what I do. That would also help you to have a better understanding of the reality or the ordinary reality that you're looking at. Because as a spiritual healer, or as you will become spiritual yourself, I mean, actively, because I'll talk about that too. As you become spiritual, because now at that point you have activated or acknowledged that spirit side of you. That's all spirituality is, or I mean, becoming spiritual is, because everybody's in spirit. When we talk about being in a state, we know you alive, but we also understand that there's a level of awareness that you don't have. So it's all in our languages. That's what we're talking about all the time. So we're truly referring. I mean, it's all in the mind. We are acknowledging it, and we are an active representation of it. Now, a matter of, do you understand your environment? You may not know where you are, stranger, and that's how you pretty much become lost. Look, now you identify with your external, and you don't know who you are. And now you've done created a world that is based on the external. And based on that external perspective, it comes with a whole bunch of other shit. And that's the whole science of ignorance. And the shit that it comes with, that's the competitive nature that now that you have, that's the greediness. In other words, that's what the Bible will call like some of those evil stuff. In a way, I get it. It is because you're technically acting out of character because you're not in alignment with you. And I talk about the shadow too. This is all part of the shadow. I talk about like the energy vampires that you'll be dealing with. This is all this is part of the path. What you call your haters, a lot of people, those are just, it's the evil shit for lack of better terms. That's why for me, I relate to it in so many different levels. Could look at it from a fucking evil perspective, and I can also look at it from a lack of self connection perspective. And in fact, that's what evil is. But let's just say we want to say evil as being pure, not good. It is also that too. So I see it from different angles. Again, and this is also showing the complexity in us, and which I will be talking about, in just a minute when I'll be talking about spirituality. It's you. This is, like you are more than flesh and fucking bones, or this is more than dick and pussy, man. And I'm thinking even dick and pussy may not even be dick and pussy as you if you really think about it. Well, I mean that's what's happening. That's what's taking place. That's what material science is telling you. But anyway, I'll talk about that later. So, in addition now to for you, how I help you to become emotionally balanced. Same thing, with you becoming mentally balanced. Now you have to understand how your mind is being conditioned. This is your personal business. This is your business. It's everybody's business. If you have a mind walking around, you see, that's why the biggest misconception about spirituality is when somebody thinks spirituality is like it's outside of, like you got to be the dumbest of the dumbest, like you don't have a sense of, like, that's brutal. You like in the bottom of the pit. I mean, you that hard on yourself. Ah, God damn. I mean, it's hard to look. You look down on yourselves that much to just see dick and pussy. Whereas even when you look around, we all, that's why we do art. We do like all of these are different aspects of just you alone, like the aesthetic part of us. And that's also our makeup too. That's why we call beauty. That's why we do certain things. You know what I'm saying? And come on, man. Like this is you don't even see that? Yeah, but it's okay. I got you though. I got you. But you know that is one of the biggest misconception, even when we talk about spirituality. You know, that's what, it's like niggas would look at like this nigga strange. No, motherfucker, that's your business. That's you. Your spirituality is your fucking humanity. You know what I'm saying? But your humanity is not your spirituality, though. You know what I'm saying? I still it goes. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to experience. When we're talking about, in fact, my last recording, I was talking about the law of manifestation. You are already manifesting. That is your nature. You're doing it without even thinking, and you kept on doing it. You know what I'm saying? But now the main difference becomes when if you're doing realignment in terms of realigning the external into yourself. I mean, because even your external was from the self, but now you have attained a higher state of consciousness because that's really what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's already saved. They just got to wake up to it. That's what it means. That's why our ancestors, all the books, everything's been listen. Like this is an open book. The manuals it's all around us, but you got to have the eye to see it, though. That's where your rites of passage comes in. That's when an active service is required, or meaning you becoming the devoted one. But either way, you already devoted. You know what you need to do now is realignment. And then now you're going to have to come to understand for you to realign yourself. It's not just realigning yourself, you just got to become that. That realignment is you changing yourself, period. You know what I'm saying? Not you being trash, trying to think positively. No. It's either you become positive or you stay negative, nigga. And you're still gonna have issues with your fucking what you're calling. It's not. I mean, you're not gonna get the result of what you're looking for, and you're still manifesting the bullshit because you are a manifester. You're just not doing it right because you need to get right first. You need to get right. That's why it doesn't matter how much you see, but it's how you're looking at it. This is all quality, baby. I tell them it's not a number game. Never been. It's never been a numbers game, man. You're looking at it sideways. You're not seeing it right. You see what I'm saying? You're not even seeing it for what it is because you're looking at it sideways. You're bullshitting. It's always been quality, man. From the noblest, from the nobles, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's always been quality. That always existed. You know what I'm saying? And that's what generate the true numbers. This is a quality thing. That's why you gotta go in. That's the road less traveled. You know what I'm saying? This is for the actual devoted ones. This is not to be taken lightly at all. In no sense of the word. You know what I'm saying? Or meaning of the word. But anyway, now going back to becoming, yeah, you have to understand how your minds work, right? Then you have to understand how you've been conditioned to think. Because you cannot have or become mentally balanced or to have, um, self mastery, if somebody else is thinking for you. Doesn't make any sense. So now, once you become dependent, because now you're worshiping idols, you're not going in, excuse me. And just like I said, a whole world's been created that way. And that's what you may know today as the world that you're living in. And that's what the illusion is. You know what I'm saying? You have your political institution, your school, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's built out of that foundation. That's why the minute you become here, they're all rocking you to bed. But with our ancestors, we had the other type of knowledge, the type of knowledge to for you to acknowledge your consciousness. It was more like balanced. That's what we do in your rites of passage, teaching you how to become a man. We are awakening that giant inside of you. Then you understand being a man, you have to activate certain aspect of you. Meaning now you're gonna have to go to war, son. You're gonna have to face your fear. That's what you see in a lot of those movies. When now before you become a man, you have to do that sacrifice. Or there's this last there's always this last test that you're gonna have to for you to go back home. But you going back home, this is you facing yourself, becoming the king in your kingdom. And that's when, you know what I'm saying? So this is for the kings, or soon to be. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is an esoteric type of knowledge, but also we understand not casting the pearls before swine. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I understand too when the student is ready. Come on, man. You listen. You gonna find this. Yeah, if not, it's gonna find you. Rest assured, man. You know what I'm saying? You are always manifesting, baby. Seek the kingdom of God. But anyway, to summarize pretty much as a spiritual healer, I mean, I help you to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And by now, you can see the complexity of truly, becoming in alignment with yourself. Because now you have to truly have a deeper understanding of your own nature and nature around you. That's how we all one. And that's how you expand your consciousness, meaning it goes beyond just dick and pussy, beyond this reality, and now it's connecting with nature, with the cosmics. Now you're working with Father, you pull creating with God. That's where I'm at with it. And that's what you are called to be. That's what you came here to do. I'm just a messenger. You know what I'm saying? All I'm doing is holding the mirror for you to see yourself. By looking at me, of course. You know what I'm saying? Can you match this? Can you catch up to it? Either way, you got to find your beauty. on your inner beauty. You know what I'm saying? If beauty is in the eye of the beholder, well, you tell me how beautiful you are. That's what it comes down to. Come on, man. It's not a game. You know what I mean? Not a game at all. So now, if you're coming back, my niggas, you already know, man. You already see how this is, how this is being done. So you already know, yeah, it's that way. Welcome back is nothing but love. As always, our purpose here, still, I mean, still sharp and still, this is our Holy Communion. This is where, what I'm saying, I'm offering myself, a piece of myself as the sacrificial lamb, for you, all of you motherfuckers. But I gotta be careful though. I also have some other motherfuckers who are trying to sacrifice me though. You know what I'm saying? Not that way. I tell them you can kill me twice. I'm already dead. How the fuck you gonna kill me? You know what I'm saying? I'm already dead. I'm way too much for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? This is not your fight. This is not your game. Anyway, it had to be said. I had to testify. My duty is to tell the truth, man. Every day, regardless of what it takes. But anyway, welcome back, niggas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it had to be expressed that way, so you know how much you are appreciated. You feel me? Oh, this is for you. This is all for you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no shame in my game, baby. This is for you. You know what I'm saying? And I hope now you understand to go only where you are celebrated. Nigga, if you come here, you will be celebrated. You hear me? The choice is yours. The choice is yours. This is for the living. You know what I'm saying? Now, all right, guys. So now, as part of the routine, guys, right? So I always take the time, especially if this is your first time and now you're listening, or you know what I'm saying, and or maybe you might be interested in some of the shit that I'm talking about. But then, I'm letting you know pretty much where I got my shit from, right? Because I guess it's only fair. It's only right. You know what I'm saying? Because if everything I'm gonna I will be talking about the whole understanding, even me sharing this with you, it's out of that understanding. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm trying to get you, you know what I'm saying, from the jump. I'm trying to let you know what this is too. I gotta give you a dose of your medicine, baby. I'm just giving you a dose of that medicine. I mean, I wouldn't be much of a spiritual healer if I wouldn't know how to do that. You see what I'm saying? If that's not what I'm doing. Come on, I mean, shit, it is what it is. I know my game. Because I know my aim.